Hello Aqua friends, welcome to my channel. Today I have another Christmas inspired painting. So we are going to do a Christmas ornament with bouquet lights, and let's get started. So I'm going to start off with a very soft background, and I'm using the masking fluid technique with my sponge daubers for the colored lights that we'll be doing in the last step. So to prepare your paper for painting, you want to put your masking fluid dots wherever you would like. And I'm loosely following the reference photo for that. And now I do have a big bulb ornament here that I'm going to be doing. And this is contact adhesive paper, that temporary adhesive paper. This makes a fantastic masking component and tool that you could use in your watercolor adventures. So, like I said, I don't really have to worry. I have that masking fluid on. I got my contact adhesive paper on for my pretty bulb. And I'm just going to start off by wetting the paper really well. So give your paper a good massage. So want some nice light colors kind of in the background here, and I do want to leave some paper white as well. So I'm being careful not to just cover up everything. And I'm just having a very soft effect here in the background. That's a pretty strong color. I love this color. This is quinacridone Scarlet, and it has a peachiness all on its own, but I love mixing it with my ISO Yellow Deep for this really pretty natural peachy color, skin tone color as well. I'm going to start getting into my greens now. So always working from the lightest colors, and I have some Green Gold by Daniel Smith. This has recently become like one of my favorite colors. I love this green gold. It's so pretty. Now before the background dries completely, I also wanted to have some softer bokeh lights picking up some of the paint that I already put down, because the ones that I masked, I'm actually going to add color to it. So this combines two different type of techniques of lifting some lights and adding lights with pigment. And I'm doing it where I have the darkest, although this is a very soft background, so it's just going to be a very soft effect. And I don't want to overdo it. I'm just lifting up a little bit. I kind of have my footprint, if you will, of where I want the greens to be. And we're just going to have to let this dry, because right now we have a really pretty background and we have our roadmap for the greenery. Okay, I'm going to create some contrast with the greenery. We're going to darken things up so that we have those lights popping out in the last step. So I'm going to re-wet some of the green areas here where I want to add the greenery, basically following our first step here, the light step. This here I think I'm going to leave soft and wispy. I don't think I'll add any more here. But we do want some contrast in here, especially along the top. This needs to be darker. So I'm re-wetting those areas. I'm going to paint around the top of this. So if your paper starts to dry while we're trying to put these darker ones in, just go over it a little bit more water. Now I really want some very wispy, finer point pine needles here, so I'm going to use thinner brush. I want to soften some of these edges, so I'm adding more water, and I'm going to make it darker too. I'm just building up my greens. We make it really dark against the bulb, it's really going to make the bulb pop. Where the string of pearls is for the tree is much darker. So I'm going to fill that in. Kind of like the texture of some of these branches that I see in the reference photo here. I want to get those in. So I think I'm going to let that layer dry, and we will see what it looks like when we take off the masking fluid and add some light. Now for the fun part, removing the masking fluid. Now, as you can see, sometimes the masking fluid doesn't stick right in the center using these sponge daubers, but that's okay. It's going to add some character to these circles, and it'll look like some of the pine needles are in front of these dots. So I'm randomly switching up my colors and adding in the pigment to my lights. And if it's too dark for your liking, you can always remove some pigment with a piece of paper towel like I just did. Now those red ones are pretty dark, so I was re-wetting them just to remove some of the pigment. Now, taking the sticker off, I'm going to wet the bulb area really well, and I have a nice warm red Pyro Scarlet that I'm using for the bulb. And I'm mixing that with some neutral tints to get it darker around the edges and increasing that darkness as I go. Now, once it dries, I'm going to add a second layer because I do want that to be the center of attention and that bulb needs to be a lot brighter. Using the exact same colors, my warm red and the neutral tint for the edges. Adding that really darkness in the shadow areas makes the ornament pop and gives it dimension. And while it's wet, I'm just tilting my board so that the pigment mixes together, and I'm tilting it in the way that I want it to spread. For the top little ornament, I'm using some quinacridone gold. Adding some wisps of pine needles in front of some of these circles. Final little touch of a couple of details, just using a little bit of brown, whatever I had in my palette. And that is it, you guys. Just created a masterpiece. Hey guys, thanks for joining me today. If you guys got value out of this video, please like and subscribe. It does help me out on YouTube. And I'll see you next week.